What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconero Zone, and it's getting tasty. It's getting spicy between Allegri and the club right now because he's taking shots at the club. He's doing it. I want to say under the radar, but it's not under the radar. It's very obvious right now that with the things he's saying, um, there's no way back right now. There's absolutely no way back because if they continue together, it makes no sense because the things that are coming out of his mouth and maybe Giuntoli's mouth as well, they don't bode well for any of them. Like they just clash. And when you say certain things, like what I'm gonna discuss, he's basically blaming the club. He's blaming Giuntoli. He's blaming the management. He's blaming everybody. He's basically telling us this team is absolutely not good, and I need so much better, and then I can do good. That's what he's basically saying. But before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and let's go. Okay, so it actually started off before the game with his presser, but what he said after the game is even more interesting. I will read out what he said before the game. He said, "What's missing to compete with Inter?" Or he was asked about it. He said, "It would be right for the club and those in charge of transfer to respond. I'm the coach, not in charge of transfers. You're not necessarily favored by playing one game a week. If we win tomorrow, we can aspire." That was the old one. That was before the game. But that came into place because he was asked about, man, you play once a week as well. It doesn't really matter that you need to have so much more quality to basically cruise a bit through the season. That was basically the question. But what you take away from that, he's basically saying, don't talk about me, about the quality of these players. Talk to the club. And I agree with that part. Not fully, but I see the point. I see that, yeah, we need more quality in the team. And that's not on him. He doesn't do the transfers. I get that. But on the flip side, he plays players or he backs players who are not good enough and do not need to play, or not that often, or you can throw under the bus like you do with other players. That's the big issue right here. He's basically saying he's putting all the blame on the club, and it's also not fair for 2 points as well. I get it, but two, what do you want the club to do right now? We didn't have any money in this summer. They came out of nowhere. They were just new, all of them. We didn't have money, in January. That's it. Like, there's nothing more to do right now. That's what you need to deal with it. Like, there is nothing else. And we're not asking you to beat out Inter. We're just asking you to not be this poor, because it is poor. But the spicy thing came after the Milan result. So after the 0-0 draw, he was again asked, like, if you get Champions League and you win the Coppa Italia, could you stay because you reach your quote-unquote goals? And he said, anything can happen in football. He also said we need luck in the final, which is embarrassing, but that's probably a discussion for another video. But he also was asked, how do you envision your Juve next season? That's the question he's being asked by a journalist. Are you not worried about not getting Champions League football? Because we are on pace to drop out of the Champions League paces. We are right now. We are in massive day. If Roma win tomorrow, we are in massive trouble. However, he said, I'm a lover of technically, skilled players raised under Gaglione who never spoke to me about formations, but solely about individual technique. This question should be directed to the club. I'm focused only at the end of the season. Now, 2 takeaways. One is, he needs ready-made players. He said it right now. He needs ready-made players who don't need a lot of info to process and just go out there and be individually good to win you the games. Give him easy guidelines and they make it work. That's what he's saying. And fair enough, he has proven to be a top coach when he has those players. However, we're not in that situation. Right now, we need coaching. We need a coach who tells players everything from A to Z. Is that ideal? No. But that's the situation we're in. We have a younger squad with younger players, and we have players who have never won anything really. They need guidance. They do. And he kind of admitted, I'm not the right man. I'm not the man to do that. And that's why I'm saying you cannot go along with each other anymore. Because he basically said right now, I need ready-made players. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And that's a bad thing to say because with the club, and again, it doesn't mean, I'm not going to say, oh, if you have top players, you're going to win easily. No, like you still need to be a good coach. However, right now, we need manager managing, but we need a coach right now. We need a person who actually can set out guidelines for these players and say, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. These are the movements until they reach certain maturity, and you can say, okay, now you have the freedom to do whatever kind of you do up top. You decide purely on individual brilliance. But that's not the case right now. He's relying on that heavily. We don't have that quality all over the pitch, and that's why these results are not coming. They're just not coming, you know. Like for like subs, again, individual brilliance. There's no, okay, you know what? It's not working. Let me switch to front three or whatever. Get me somebody out in midfield because we're controlling the game. They're not doing anything. Let's put somebody out to the middle. Let's overload the right-hand side or the left-hand side. Like, he doesn't do these things. It's just like for likes and go again. Individually, Chiesa, you beat Musa or Thiago right now because they're tired. That's what he said post-game. I put in Chiesa because I told him defenders get tired and you need to take advantage. I mean, that's just basic. That's basically saying your individual brilliance should make the difference. It's like for like, but he admitted. He said right now, I like technically skilled players. Everybody does, by the way, but we're not in that situation right now. And it's a worrying thing to say, and it's fair. Like, he has proven in the past that maybe it's like I don't deserve this. I deserve a ready-made squad I can kind of chill with. Hey, and I'm not gonna argue with that, but we're not in that situation right now. And next season and the season afterwards, we're not in that situation. We need a coach who's gonna be here and build with these players and say, okay, this, and these I cannot work with. We need this, and this. With all these guys, I can work. We just need to plug 3 holes right here, and we can go. That's what we need right now. And he kind of said, ask the club. I don't know anything about it. Just ask the club, and I like these players, and this is what you gave me, basically. That's what he's basically saying. And at that point, I'm like, you cannot work together anymore. Because usually he doesn't say these things. He's very cautious about it. Or he says, transfers, you need to talk about the club about transfers. But now he's going overboard, saying, I like these type of players and all these things. I think he knows it's done. And he's kind of playing defensively, which is fair. I'm not saying that he should come out there and be like, yeah, man, I've done a terrible job and I deserve this and this. No, he's going to play defensively because if he wants to coach on, he's going to make a case for himself. And he's not making it on the pitch, so he needs to make it off the pitch. So I get what he's trying to do right here, but he kind of admitted that, hey, I need these type of players. Otherwise, it's going to look like this, basically. And like this, I mean 2 wins out of 13 in the league, all over the place. No patterns, nothing, no style. Not, Champions League or 5th. It's just purely the style of play right now, what he's talking about. But yeah, that's why I think it's over. That's why I think it's completely done. There's no way back. But let me know in the comments what you think, because a lot of you are still skeptical on that point, thinking that he might stay on. So let me know why you think he can stay on. I don't think he will. But yeah, that's it for me. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys later today. Ciao.